I start off my videos always saying thank you, God. Even though this is not I'm not in a good shape in regard my health. They're damaging me slowly, and it's a slow process. And maybe I'm making even worse for myself or putting the reality of what this program is instead of what they wanted me to endure this in this fashion where they were supposed to, these ways where they're supposed to, as I say, fashion is manipulated in the way they wanted me to just internalize this. And I refuse to do that. I understand that what is happening to me is way bigger than me. I understand that this is a program that is torturing the most vulnerable, from little kids to women to grandmothers. And one thing they do in this program, rape is continuously utilized to break down women and even men. With me, this trash has been trying to paint themselves in different fashion, in different ways, and they keep making me say in fashion because, as you can imagine, as a target visual with V2K synthetic telepathy, I'm being manipulated, and everything's orchestrated. And this Perps doing that to me, think that's gonna break me in regard of feeling powerless. Because the truth is, as a target visual, if you deal with V2K synthetic telepathy, you're no longer a human being that experiences natural experiences. Everything is orchestrated, manipulated, and you experience disgusting things and other things, and you control. So they control me to get to this point because this is the mental battles they were creating. And so a lot of these losers, these bottom feeders that partake in this, feel like use this to feel special, and I think they are making this delusional thing, make themselves believe in this delusional way where I don't see that you're just clearly nothing, a loser in this whole thing, that find empowerment in the program that torture women and children, but don't want to take accountability for what you're part of. So what they're doing is they try to create a facade that there's some justice seekers, when in reality there's just some loser, disgusting trash that know that what they're part of is harming the most vulnerable, and many have killed themselves. Women get raped every day in this program. They know that they're part of that, and they take pride in negating the rapes of these women while having the audacity to try to cover up that they're involved in a program that does this to women and children. You're gonna hear the clear rapes that women endure in this program. They just wanted to feel godlike without taking the accountability that by making yourself feel like God, you join a program where rape is a common utilized tool. To me, they even try to create this facade where we're different, we're this and that. No, you're not. You're involved in a program. Some of them have partaken in torturing women. And I detest this trash, not because what they're doing to me, but how they wanted to make themselves be presented, knowing damn well there'll be a day where I find out that these people are involved in this program that is raping women. They utilize this childish like individual that thought that people were gonna let them play this game, make themselves talk in this way, because I'm a target individual dealing with V2K. When they project their voices, that's when you hear the magic happen. This little trash start making themselves sound in this mystic way. It's a game. Target individual, what you hear, how they present themselves, this trash that you hear, are really the nobody. Their job really is about making you accept the reality, where they're not the ones that are these foul clowns for the horror what they're part of, where rape is one of many tortures that breaks down target vigil. But there's whatever they want to be. They can show themselves to be like a satanic cult and this and that. In reality, they're just a trash implementing, unfortunately, a program that is meant to psychologically and physically torture target individual for the purpose of developing this technology. So I refuse to do that. This trash, this disgusting low life are gonna be accountable for what they're part of, not what they try to create themselves as. They're no heroes, they're no justice seekers, they're disgusting whole life. With me, they do this thing where they come up the stories, they're like, yeah, then you raped me. And they start trying to present themselves as the rape victims because they tell me they're gonna frame me this way. But they wanna do that because they wanna do that because they wanna. It's a justice seeking thing. It's disgusting. When in truth, they just try to cover up that they got involved in something where so many women are currently getting raped, will be raped, and some of them have killed themselves. Children are also being tortured. So they are trying to vilify me. So they make themselves look like, oh, we're just so bold, we're daring, we're making you pay for what you've done. When in reality, what they're doing, what they're part of, is not only doing things to women but children. And rape is a common torture. One thing you're gonna find out quickly as a target individual: sexual attack, sexual torture is something they do. And many women are breaking. You're going to see women crying because they have to endure with this torture every day. It breaks them. Some of them learn how to live with it, deal with it. But that's what this program does. Now, to see this trash try to cover that up and get mad and wanting to recreate reality and try to vilify me, bring up things that, by the way, one thing they do in this program, oh my gosh, the way they just put stories together, they have no shame. And they employ a lot of these clowns. They every time they try to paint the story, they like making noise. They do this brainwashing tactics where they think that they can box in things they implant in your brain by making noise campaign. Some of them is just extremely crazy. Some of them is just, but they have no limit. So all kind of alteration of thoughts and memory and putting narratives into memories is key. And then they have this clowns that walks around like there's some justice seekers, and instead of what they're part of is out here raping women so much that they're killing themselves. This is something they're trying to do, and I've made a video like that before a while ago. For me, what they've been trying to do, while trying to negate the fact that they are raping, torturing, doing all these diabolical things to women and children, to find ways to vilify me and then present themselves like, now we're just daring. We're gonna make you pay. You're gonna be a whore. You're gonna be raped. You're gonna do this. We're gonna implant child porn. We're gonna have this. I'm not calling them children because I don't want to humanize them. We're gonna have this non-adult trash that the government contract to partake in this. This little nobodies act like they got raped. Oh, and by the way, the best part about this whole thing is, as they say these things, they apparently expect the target individual to be pacific, not lash out when they try to play this game in front of them. Which you can imagine, this is delusionality. Things will go the way they go, most likely with zero hesitation. But going back to this, then they try to bring whatever they can. Listen, I'm not perfect, but one thing is for sure: I will never allow these people who have signed up, are happy, enjoy, matter of fact, call themselves bold for getting involved in something that does this, when in truth is cowardice at a majestic level. At a level that is so majestic in regard of cowardice, where women and even children get tortured sexually. And thought, no, we get involved in this. In what? In a program that is torturing children and women and a lot of sexual torture to make you pay. And this is bold. Like, you can imagine what will happen if they did that in front of me. I guess I will have to do something bold for getting involved in this unfair thing that rapes women, that they're part of, but bold to be part of, and torture children. Things will be handled quickly. I cannot, for the soul of all these women and even children that have suffered and suffering right now, I will never let them live this fantasy, especially those who are no longer with us because they killed themselves. Because they got unfairly raped every day, couldn't take it anymore, and killed themselves. Now, what you're saying here is the thing. I refuse to even give them a chance to live this fantasy. You're gonna see what they do to women. But they were trying to bring up me in college, and this is me interacting with a roommate in college. Listen, I was a college student, and you can imagine, as a typical college student boy, you know, there's a lot of sexual activities. Well, yeah, at least the intention was, So they make me think of when me and somebody, a friend of mine, who by the way now is a perp, huh? He became a perp and participated early on. And we went out, typical caution thing. We go out, me and him, and over there, and then where we go out, this local bar club in college, we meet some girl, and we end up going back home. And I'm sorry for being graphic, but this is the college years. The girl seems to be very sexually driven, so much so that she also was interested to being with the roommate, who was not somebody who was interested, because she goes into the bathroom and then goes into the wrong room. She goes in the wrong room and see my roommate, and that's the interaction you see here. And she's undressed in front of him, and my roommate is not interested. It's like, oh, the wrong room, go to the other room over there, which is nothing wrong. We're in college. It's a lot of sexual activities. She basically was at that point willing to be sexual with everybody, and that's the college years. I'm not here to be graphic, but this is, and I'm not. There's no need to judge. So you can tell that at that point, she was kind of open to be sexual with multiple individuals. I remember my roommate telling me the next day, it's like, hey, she came in my room, she got undressed. I'm like, oh, nope, go in there. But, and I'm gonna be, transparent. Me and my friend did get sick, had some, intercourse with this girl. We're in college, all of us. Matter of fact, she has so much sexual drive that me and my friend couldn't even continue. We were like, okay, it's time to go home. Like, she was actually not happy about that, because it seems like she still have enough drive, even though we didn't. But what they start trying to do is, as we are, and I'm gonna try my best to speak in a non-graphic way, as we are being sexual in the position we are between me and her. There's a time where, after trying different position, being unsuccessful in some points, and this is multiple rounds, it's becoming like, as we're becoming, she is like, she does this thing where she kind of push me away, but at the same time, like holding me. She's like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. What I'm thinking is, it was maybe, and I'm sorry to be graphic here, where at times it was getting too deep, and her reaction was that. And then going back in, she was like conflicted between feeling good and being too deep. Yes, no, and then she was like, yes. It's like she was enjoying, but at the same time it was like to. And then it ended. And at one point she even said, oh, I needed this. Like, she was still having like a lot of sexual drive. The truth is, at the end when we left, she was like mad. because she wanted to continue. Unfortunately, me and him didn't have enough capacity to fulfill her all the way. And she was mad. She wasn't happy. And I say attitude they try to make me, because attitude now to them is something else. She was unhappy because it appeared like maybe she wanted more, and we kind of end the party a little too soon for her. She was still now when she did this pushback and put it this back of this yes no, like, oh, she pushed you, so that means no, she didn't want to. And then when in reality, most likely what was happening is I was going a little too deep, and then she was like also enjoying it. And mind you, this is at a point where we're already like done multiple position and things, and she's like saying yes and no, yes and no. And then when it ends, I actually get mad that this ends, and we'll have to drop her back to the dorm, acting mad and just unhappy. Mind you, the same person that went to the room of my roommate, seeing my roommate, start undressing her. My roommate had to stop her. It's like, hey, that's wrong room. Over the next one. These clowns here start to paint like, no, she said no. She said yeah. She pushed me. Try to paint the story like that when in reality it was a highly sexually driven college girl when we're in college, and them trying to recreate reality in the way where they're the Avengers. It's like, nah, that was rape. It's like, when this trash, you're gonna hear where rape in different formats is what you're gonna hear. You're gonna hear these advanced technological rapes. You're gonna hear the rapes where they do other things, where this woman just wakes up bleeding from everywhere. All kind of rapes. But these clowns wanted to live this fantasy. And by the way, how this happened? Not too long ago, I was with somebody intimately, and as we being intimate, at some points, it seems like she had some uncomfortability, and she pushed me a little bit, tried to say like it's too deep. And that's where they start making me think, oh, you see, remember that girl pushed. Matter of fact, who I was intimate with, we ended up spending the night and everything. Sorry, that girl. Let me just say that specifically because they're gonna flip things around. When I say girl, they could start trying to make you imagine children. That woman who I was with not too last weekend, who's actually no, just a woman, but a woman that's a bit older than me, very not that much difference. That pushed me as we were having intercourse, and because things got a little too deep, we ended up spending the night tonight together. So they trying to use that. I was like, no, she was pushing because she's like, no, I don't. When in reality, it was just like most likely things were going a little too deep. And at the same time, she's like, yes, no, yes, no. Like it was like a back and forth. Now this trash, I'm talking to people who are professional rapists that wanted to be the me too of this whole thing. Disgusting trash. Trying to assess what they can create to make it look like the way they are, just to protect us. For the soul of all these women that are getting raped in this program. This perverted, disgusting psyop. And when I mean perverted, I mean the fact that you're involved in a program where who knows how many women are killing themselves because they're getting raped every day. Then using this disgusting trash will think they're going to play this game? Never. Target video stay strong. Don't let this trash who have blood of so many on their hand because they got involved, because they were bold enough to get involved in a program where raping women and even torturing children is happening. Today, Today they're raping these women. Today they're torturing these women. Today this program is evolving to becoming worse. Listen to the horror of what they're part of. For the soul of all these women being raped today, having to live life in this sufferance, I will never let this life live defensively. You know how much noise campaigns happen here every time they try to open the door in a violent way. Like it's gonna change these horrible things they're part of. I promise you, I'm not gonna let that happen. Prgm, listen to the horror.
There seems to be a sexual component to this program. Haptic feedback. Vibrations and pain delivered to their most intimate areas in a way that seems to want to humiliate them. Some TIs report seductive or taunting voices in their head at the same time as sexual assaults are taking place. A Washington Post article about the issue states, others report the attacks in the form of sexual stimulation, including one TI who claims he dropped out of the seminary after constant sexual stimulation by directed energy weapons.
There seems to be a predatory element.
There are some other things that have happened to me in terms of being a woman that I won't mention here, but there are attacks and assaults in a very intimate way and place.
Sexual aspect, electronic rape. It's just somebody is touching you. Somebody is touching you and doing sexual acts, but there's nobody there. If I look at somebody like a man or something, then they'll start touching me.
Just over the last year, it's gotten really much darker with sexual assaults, and then not being able to find the perpetrator or the people assaulting me. It hurts, and I'm a human being.
Yeah, you're talking about like the electromagnetic, the rape and that. Yeah, that's, oh my God, that was kind of on the onset that I became aware of that. It was like I could feel it in my backside and my front side. And in the very beginning, it was, they wanted me to know. It was like I could feel this vibrating, just... powerlessness, you know, sheer powerlessness over somebody, even though they're not putting their hand, they're putting the weapon on you, and there's nothing you can do. And that's an awful feeling.
It's usually combined with a very cruel microwave auditory effect, voices in their heads telling her, we're not raping you, we're just stimulating you. And that has got to be the most disgusting, wicked, evil, satanic thing.
Especially the women. There seems to be a sexual component.
Once you understand it and do the research, you can rise above it. I believe prayers helped a lot.
It's like I'm being attacked right now as we speak, you know, and but you tend to get used to it in a dysfunctional way. Just trying to help fight this thing, you know?
It's truly.
So other people profit from your suffering. In my book, that is human trafficking. And guess, aside from the people that actually come in and rape you in your room while you're incapacitated. So the
protection rather than interpret this.
In the face, you know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voiceless skull, it's a bunch of females.
And went to bed. I had, and they had relatively high floor, and they had all of a sudden I had been there like 4 or 5 days, and the night before I was attacked really bad. I noticed a maintenance man about 10 or 11 o'clock at night messing with all of the lights up and down the hallway. And as I'm sorry, I get kind of upset when I think about this because it's really messed up. And my spidey sense went off, and I was really kind of nervous about like what the hell he was doing out there, because he was kind of a sinister, he was real creepy kind of person. So the next night, I believe it was a Friday night, I went to bed. I had all of the doors, all the locks on the door, even the one that kind of like goes over that you can't open from the outside. I had everything locked up. Figured I was safe. I went to bed maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, bleeding out of every hole, sick. Someone was in my room, or had been in my room. Food was missing. My dogs were traumatized. I had been obviously sexually assaulted in all the worst ways possible. I got up, first thing I did was vomit. And all I wanted to do was I was just in shock. There was a do not disturb sign on my door, and I didn't do this. And there was lotion all over my bathroom floor. All I wanted to do was just get on a plane and get the hell away from everybody. And I was, very, very sick and in a lot of pain. I had already been denied a rape kit when I owned my house, and woke up, and my hair had obviously been pulled out, and there were earplugs in my bed. And I felt like someone had done something. I went to Palos Community Hospital, under the directions of a non-compromised police officer, who told me that if anything happened, to go right to the hospital. So I did. And I had a compromised doctor who treated me like a third-rate citizen and said she would give me an STD test and a drug test. But she refused me a rape kit. And
Below is a claim-only answer, paraphrased, non-graphic, and non-endorsing, reflecting what some female-targeted individuals say. I'll be precise and careful given the sensitivity. Do female TIs claim that female perpetrators purposely show their children to create manipulation? Yes.
The worst breakdowns, and it's pretty common. I think I can say the word simulated rape, and forced orgasm.
You can say anything you want. This is the internet.
Okay. And so simulated orgasms and rape is extremely common, and especially violating for women. They complain about that torture breakdown the most.
What I'm feeling when I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1, but 2. The one physician said, you're mentally sound as a bell. He said, I don't have any idea what's going on with you. When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum.
Retired security administrator, Ms. McDavid's reputation was used to implement this non-consensual biotechnology application that is being used on me. I now experience involuntary limb movements. I receive stingings. I get pains to my head, to my abdomen, to my vaginal area, and to my anal area.
Body parts.
specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also experience what is referred to as malo. Anything electronic. They have even locked me out of my office building that uses an electronic key. It is often very difficult and an immense battle just to even sit on the toilet to go to the bathroom. Not only because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus, shaking, vibrating.
I'm called a targeted individual, but the abuse last night was pretty extreme. I can feel it's going to be the same again today. Already on the harming of the private parts of my body. Don't really know what to do. I tried to go to a doctor to get some kind of pain medicine because what actually happens to me, what is happening to me is my actual physical body is being burned. And so it causes me to go into shock and it's excruciatingly painful. And I have my limitations on the duration and length of pain that I can handle. So it was a couple of weeks ago, I asked him what he was doing there, and he said that I needed to stay in my room. And I asked why, and he said that essentially they wanted to keep an eye on me for a while. And I was like, okay, for how long? And he was like, well, we haven't decided that yet. And I was like, all right, well, I'm leaving. But it definitely felt like if I talk about what's happening to me, that I'm being retaliated against. And I know the logical mind is like, well, everyone can't be involved. But it seems that, I don't know, if the government has the right to watch and the proper paperwork, just walk right in and take over a hospital. And it seems that that is a very real reality in a lot of capacities of the things that I've faced. So today just kind of just feeling some pretty general fear about my own safety, because the government's burning the private parts of my body. Noon yet here, and all of that today, this morning, like not even noon yet here, and already I'm experiencing the pain and the harm to my body, to the private parts of my body.
Yes, here's a filing-grounded, reportive case file summary of Devon Delaney Fraley and HF, with specific protection rather than interpret this.
In the face, stupid shit like that.